Hi everybody. Today we have a very special Optoma TH1060 to work on. This particular projector is owned by somebody very important. That would be me. This is one of my personal projectors. I use it in the bedroom so that we don't have to have an actual TV. It's ceiling mounted, shines on a drop-down screen with the full sound system set up, so it's a nice way to do it. Problem is, for the past, oh, I don't know, probably since I acquired it actually, if it stayed plugged in for a while, when you would turn it on, it would do this weird thing where it would get these vertical lines through the picture. Essentially, a bunch of columns on the DLP chip weren't firing, and then the video would be a little scattery too. So to make it work, all you had to do was unplug it, count to 10 or so, and plug it back in. So what I did was I just used one of these, and I would just, anytime I wanted to use it, I would just turn off the outlet remotely and then just turn it back on, and then everything would be fine for, you know, sometimes up to a week. So of course, being that it's my personal projector, you know, I can just turn the outlet on and off, so I'm not going to worry about it until I have to. Well, today I got inspired, as I need to redo some wiring up top for the sources that I've connected. So I figured today would be a good day to finally deal with that power supply issue, or at least what I'm pretty sure is a power supply issue. My guess, my educated guess at this point, is that one of these capacitors in the secondary are bad. Maybe the 12 volt. Well, it's really all it has is 12 volt. I'm guessing there might be some ripple in there. Could be capacitors on the main board. It's possible. But I figure I'll open it up and give it a once over and see. And if that's the case, then I may just swap out the power supply. I'm pretty sure this is the same one. This is out of a PJ905. It's almost the same thing as this projector. They share, well, you'll see. If anybody who's seen my PJ905 videos, you'll see what I mean when I open it up. I'll put a link so that you can check those out. So it might be different. You know, I could be wrong on guessing that this is the right power supply, but we'll see. First things first, let's open it up. Need to remove the lamp. Unlike the Polyvisions, this has a lamp door with a screw on the front. They have whole half of the top comes off. But you know, they're not the same projector, but they're very similar. That door off. And let's see, this is my lamp. And I think the lamps are the same. I have to double check. If they're not the same, they're almost the same. There's a whole series of lamps that look like this. They look, you know, they have this tilting piece here, and then they have these cutouts in the front. And depending on the projector, the cutouts are different, even though the bulb may actually be the same. Connectors are usually the same. I forget what lamp this is, but let's see, what do we got here? A 775. So this might be a BLFU300C, maybe? I forget. I'll put a link to that, of course, in the description as well. But if you look at the Polyvision lamps and then look at this, you'll see that they're very, very similar. You can also see down in there, actually you probably can't see from back here. So right there, that's the fan, that blower fan, that if you have a projector like this one, you know, whether it be the Polyvision or the oh, what the heck, the Vivitech series, anything made by Delta, that is like this. It takes that kind of lamp, will have that fan in the front, and it's the space here is small, and it's easy to get it clogged up with dust. I'll probably clean this, of course, while I have it open. So 2 screws on the top. Let's see, it looks like there might be screws. Usually they have screws along the back edge. Yeah, there's 3. And then 5 screws in the bottom. Come on. It's alright. Oh, and then there's 2 in the back, which are shorter than the ones that go in the bottom. That middle, let's see, if this one's really long, yeah, that's going to be just like the Polyvision. Let's see. Of course they don't just drop out. Yep, just like the Polyvision. Nice long screw in the middle that goes through that little plastic spacer. Yep, there's one. And then the other will fall out as soon as I split the case, I'm sure. Yep. Alright. So let's pop the top off. This will have a keyboard, so I'll need to be careful about the wire. There we go. And that even looks like the inside of the Polyvision. These are all made by Delta. Here's the date information. It's polycarbonate. And then there's the date stuff. And I'm feeling good because it doesn't look as dusty as I thought it would be. That fan doesn't look bad at all. I'm going to give it just a little, I'll go wipe it out and stuff, but this is not very dusty. It's got some cobwebs on the outside, but no large buildup like we see on a lot of the other projectors. Let's get that. There we go. I always meant to take that off because it just sits on the ceiling. And there's the cobwebs. And that's the spacer that goes in the middle. You got that out. Yeah, see, this thing's almost identical to those Vivitex and the Polyvision. Same layout. That little cutout for the ballast connector. Front IR. They got a ferrite bead on that one though. Yeah, this one looks like it's built a little bit better. Just a little bit. Alright, so we gotta take this whole back assembly out, which means disconnecting all the wires. Alright, that one I believe stays because it probably goes to that daughter board underneath. Let's unplug the front IR. And now, main board screws. That's not on the Polyvisions either. That I don't know if that's ground or I'm thinking that might be a temperature sensor. Alright, so that should do it for all the screws to release that. These back ones stay in. At least they usually do. Yep. Let's get that ballast wire fished out. Now the back should lift up, and then there's a low voltage power on this side under here. Once I get it high enough, I should be able to... What do we got? Oh, this wire is running through a piece of plastic. You'll see. Alright, yeah, there's a low voltage. Alright, so we can set that back out of the way. Why they do that, I don't know. They have it go through this notch here. Alright, so let's get to the power supply now. Alright, so the ballast is right here. Here is the power supply, and it looks like I was right in my guess. Almost identical, different capacitors. Let's get this one out. There's 4 screws. 4 screws and what, 2 wires? Something like that. Oh, that is a ground for that's just for the ballast wire. And ground. Okay, so that's threaded. Then do a plug. It goes to the power cord on the back. Oh, see? Power goes in there. And it hits this wire here, which then goes to the power supply. Alright, let me set that over there. It's just one more screw and then the power supply is free. Let's unplug the power to the ballast. Huh. Oh, wow. Okay. Let's see. So the clip for the ballast can't quite clear its latch because of the plastic behind it, so I have to go up underneath instead of in front. Not a big deal. Alright, so that comes off. Alright, as it ties loose, I can take the plastic off. Here's the power supply. There's the, oh, there we go. There's the power supply. It has, oop, I tore that. There's our incoming. AC comes in there. And then once the AC goes in, there's a whole bunch of filtering, a bunch of chokes, and some capacitors, and of course a fuse. And after it goes through all that, it goes into a full wave rectifier right there. Oop, there we go, full wave rectifier. And more capacitors. And then some resistors. They are part of the power factor correction circuit, I believe, for driving the 400 volt DC up to the ballast. Yeah, there's MOSFETs over there. This one here, this MOSFET actually turns on that high voltage, I believe, or it might be for interrupting it for protection, maybe. But it's connected. yeah, to that capacitor there. Then let's see. Then we have a switching power supply for the secondary that controls that. I kind of wonder if that's not, well, it has to be starting. I just wonder about these Tycon capacitors. These are like the ones that I used to see in the Runco 710. That same ugly green. They don't look vented or anything. Oh, there we are. Yeah, they definitely don't look vented or anything, but I don't trust them. Could also be one of these other ones. Like, what's that? Oh, that's a Nichicon. That's a good one. So you got big Rubicons over there. That's good. And then they got these weird Tycons over there. I think we'll just go ahead and put that other power supply in. Alright, so this goes in the plastic like that. And let's get our zip tie. And zippy zip it all together. Because it'd be really cool to not have to worry about turning the outlet on and off. I mean, it's not a huge deal. I really could even automate it and make it part of the turn on process, but let's fix it. You know what they say about the shoe cobbler's shoes. That back in place, or the new one in place. Then we'll plug this feller in. Okay, this is just stupid. What a dumb design. Alright, so here's the ballast. Here's the power supply. There we go. Here's the ballast. Now see that one unplugs. So that connector, the white one, it's super close to the edge. There we go. So when you go to plug in this wire, the little clippy tab, that's the technical name by the way, clippy tab, is it can't quite fit unless you give it a good push like that. So that's just a dumb design. Dumb design. Alright, let me just juggle all this back into position. Because that essentially means I have to put the ballast and the power supply in together at the same time. Maybe there's a trick I'm not aware of, but I don't know. Sure doesn't seem that way. But I got it. So, life goes on. I persevered, I overcame. Alright, so that plugs back in, that screw goes in there. Now, the tricky part is plugging in the low voltage wire and getting the main board in place without getting your fingers stuck inside. See that? I'm just watching for the color wheel. I'm going to just tuck this over here. That there. And that's pushed back. Alright. So I'm not putting that wire back under there. I don't care. It's my projector. I can do what I want. If this was your projector, I'd put that wire back in. Alright, so now we're going to get that power supply plugged in. It's this wire. And it goes to the connector up underneath the board. You have to kind of do it by feel. I'm actually going to get the needle nose to help. They'll get it lined up. There we go. There we go. Oops. Yep, my finger came off. Alright, actually I don't need those gloves now. Alright. Let's get that. There we go. Oh, I just noticed something on this main board. Zoom. Focus. No. Yeah, see that button? My guess is it's for activating a programming mode, because that's what that's for. It's interesting. One of these days I need to really play with some of the the control software. I do have a project coming up where I want to take the firmware from our old Runco CL710, I was talking about that one earlier, and copy it to a BenQ PE8700 and see if I can turn an 8700 into a 710 and see how similar they are just by flashing the firmware. Alright, let's put the cover on. Power's hooked up. Did I get it? Yeah, it's still in there. Good. So now it's ready for testing. I move the tape out of the way so we can see the indicator light in case there's a problem. And what do we got? Standby, yep. Alright, you can kind of see Optoma. Oh, you could see Optoma. There's menu. And all the stuff is there. You just can't see it because, you know, it's too small. But it looks like it's working. So, to make sure that this works long term, the only way I'm going to know is to run it. So, let's turn it off. And then I'm going to reinstall it in the bedroom, hook it up, and see what happens. So I'll probably wait to upload this, and then once I know it's working or feel comfortable after it runs for a few weeks without power cycling, then I'll put this video up and I'll let you know, maybe with a picture or something. So, as always, thank you for watching.